La 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 la. C1D.
Hey there, Andrew from C1D Paintball. So I take a story from C1D, I write a few prompts down, and put it in AI. So I've come up with an anime style of an incident that happened with C1D, and it came up with this, which was a little different than what I thought, but still fun. And the idea was Trent was going to fill in as the one player is injured, and I just wrote he didn't do well. For some reason they picked on him, and I ended up with this, and I won't even make my comment at the end because it's I'll just leave that to you. And yeah, I'm going to make more of these. Yeah.
The Crimson Grime. Under the flickering neon lights of the C1D arena, Connor was a phantom. He moved with a lethal, jagged grace, his paintball marker an extension of his soul. Beside him, Mike laid down a relentless wall of suppressing fire, his eyes locked on the horizon. They were the undisputed kings of the high school circuit, moving in a synchronized dance of strategy and speed. The glory ended with a sickening, wet crack that echoed louder than any CO2 blast. In the dim, clinical light of the locker room, Andrew looked down at his son's foot. 3 toes were twisted at impossible angles, a bruised mess of purple and shadow. Andrew's face was etched with a father's worry, knowing the season, and perhaps his son's spirit was hanging by a thread. Enter Trent. He wore the C1D jersey like a costume he hadn't earned. During the first practice after the injury, Jeff watched in silent, mounting horror from the sidelines. Trent fumbled his reloads, his hands shaking, and tripped over his own feet in the open. The star player's replacement was a gaping wound in their once ironclad defense, a soft spot that the rest of the league was eager to exploit. The losses piled up like spent casings in the dirt. Mike and Jeff sat slumped against a concrete wall, their jerseys drenched in the humiliating crimson blood of Team Ketchup. Their rivals were relentless, mocking the C1D boys with every lopsided victory. The pride of the school was bleeding out, the scoreboard a constant reminder of how far they had fallen without their leader. The night of the championship arrived, draped in a cold, biting mist. Connor sat on the sidelines, his foot encased in a heavy medical boot, his eyes burning with a dark, predatory fire. Andrew stood beside him, his hand heavy on his son's shoulder. They both knew the team was being slaughtered on the field, and the silence between them was charged with a desperate, dangerous tension. On the field, the carnage was absolute. Vane, the ruthless captain of Team Ketchup, moved like a wolf among sheep. He pinned Trent behind a crumbling plywood bunker, laughing as he prepared the final shot. Trent was curled in a ball, his marker abandoned in the mud, his spirit completely broken by Vane's aggressive pursuit. Suddenly, a shadow taller and darker than the rest fell over the bunker. Connor stood there, his face a mask of cold fury. He had torn away the medical boot, his foot now wrapped in layers of white athletic tape already soaking through with dark stains. Trent looked up, gasping as he saw the murderous resolve in his captain's eyes. "Get out," Connor rasped, his voice a low, guttural growl that brooked no argument. Before Trent could speak, Connor grabbed him by the tactical vest and physically hauled him toward the exit. The pain in Connor's foot was a white-hot scream, a symphony of agony with every step, but he fed on it, turning the excruciating sensation into raw, dark momentum. The comeback was a blur of tactical violence. Mike saw the shadow of his captain return and felt a surge of adrenaline that set his veins on fire. Connor charged across the open kill zone, ignoring the shards of bone grinding in his foot. He was no longer just a player. He was a vengeful force, weaving through incoming fire while Mike moved in perfect lockstep behind him. Vane never saw the ghost coming. Connor slid through the muck, his marker leveled at his rival's chest with surgical precision. A single, thunderous burst of blue paint erupted, marking Vane's heart. The stadium fell into a stunned silence as the king reclaimed his throne, standing tall amidst the ruins of his own agony, the championship trophy finally within his blood-stained grasp.
Game over.